Dear friends, in continuation of my previous lecture on history of Urdu literature and its impact on Indian culture, I welcome all of you today. A very good morning to you all. Modern period. Modern period is a period when development reaches on a certain level. In modernity, people start thinking scientifically and rationally. Dependence on religion and luck is minimized. Feudal system collapses and a minimum kind of democracy exists. Few negative aspects of modernity are also there, like they are more involved in war, there are more frustrations and loneliness in life. Impacts of First War of Independence. After the First War of Independence in 1857, there was a deep feeling of depression and frustration among Indians. Though this war was fought in a big part of India, but impacts of this war was more deep in Delhi and Lucknow, and these two centers were the most important centers of Urdu language and literature. This was not only Indian political loss but cultural loss also. The composite culture, which was developed in almost 800 years, was also lost. This is the fact that Britishers were more advanced in science and technology as well as social studies, and people realized that if we have to stand against British rule, then we have to be equipped with modern knowledge. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan 1817 to 1898. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was the student of Delhi College, where he learned the importance of science and technology as well as translation. He wrote Asarus Sanadid on historical monuments of Delhi and translated Ain-e Akbari, the Constitution of Akbar, from Persian to Urdu. After the completion of this translation, he requested to Ghalib to write the preface of his book. In response, though Ghalib wrote the preface, but also suggested him that every period brings his own constitution, and all is established as yesteryear's thing. Look towards the London, only then you will get to know that the world has reached too much forward. Sir Syed realized this thing, and he devoted his whole life for knowledge, especially in the field of science and technology. The impacts of Sir Syed are very wide. He established the Scientific Society with the mission of propagating scientific ideas through Urdu medium. The Scientific Society was established in Ghazipur while he was posted there. When Sir Syed shifted to Aligarh, he also brought the Scientific Society to Aligarh. He also issued Aligarh Institute Gazette Journal for his purpose. He also established a school later which became Aligarh Muslim University. He also started a magazine Tehzeeb-ul Akhlaq, which became a movement for modern and scientific prose in Urdu. New approaches towards the literature. With the victory in 1857, British scholars started to influence on Indian culture and literature also. They injected the feeling that Indian literature is not competent enough and is based on wrong and artificial feelings. supernatural narration and full of exaggeration. Because they were winner and ruler, their strategy worked. Indians also started to realize on same way as colonial power were thinking. In response, genres of poetry such as Masnavi, Marsiya, Qasida became outdated. There was a strong attack on Ghazal also, but due to inner power, anyhow, it managed to survive. In prose, Dastan was the most important genre of Urdu and it also became outdated. In this new poetic emphasis was given on realistic approach, simplicity and passion. The Eastern poetics was based on metaphor, imagination and recreation. But in new poetics, which was borrowed by few colonial powers, had no place for these things. Emergence of new genres. In consequence of new poetics based on Western philosophy of literature, many new genres of literature emerged in Urdu. Nazm, which is equivalent to poem, novel, short story, criticism, and theatre, are a few important genres among them, which emerged in Urdu literature due to Western effects. Nazm. Muhammad Hussain Azad, with the help of Major Fuller, who was the director of public instructions, played instrumental role in establishing Anjuman-e-Punjab in Lahore. Next director, Colonel Harold, patronized the new kinds of mushairas where poems on given topics were recited. These nazms changed the literary atmosphere of Lahore as well as Indian Urdu literature. This movement became more powerful when Altaf Hussain Hali joined the Anjuman-e-Punjab. His nazms became the role model of new poets. Shibli, Akbar Allahabadi, Brij-Narayan Chakbast, Tilok Chand Mehroom, Akhtar Shirani strengthened the nazm. But nazm has to wait to become the most powerful form of expression in poetry until Allama Muhammad Iqbal joined in 20th century. Criticism. Like nazm, three literatures, Muhammad Hussain Azad, Altaf Hussain Hali and Shibli Nomani, played major role in the evolution of criticism in Urdu. Azad's Ab-e-Hayat and Sukhandan-e-Faras are his criticism work, though Ab-e-Hayat is basically an anthology of history of Urdu literature, but his views regarding poetics are also found in this book. Hali's Muqaddma Sher-o-Shairi is in fact first book of Urdu criticism. This is the first book in which systematically discussed on the poetics. He emphasizes on asliyat means real, sadgi means simplicity and josh means passion. He favors for natural poetry. His book on Ghalib is also a good piece of applied criticism. His other books, Hayat-e-Javed and Hayat-e-Sadi, are biographies, though his views of literature also occurs in these books. Hali and Azad's views are influenced by the colonial power. In contrast, Shibli Nomani's views of poetry are based on Farsi and Urdu poetics. He expressed his views in his book Maqalat-e-Shibli. He also wrote a book Mawazna-e Anis-o-Dabir, which is a very nice piece of applied criticism. Novel. In 1969, Nazir Ahmed wrote Urdu's first novel, Miratul Urus. Before writing this novel, he already wrote a few books related to religion, and his contribution in translating legal books was very important. After the success of Miratul Urus, he wrote few more novels like Binatun Nash, Tawbatun Nasuh, and Ibnul Waqt. These novels reflect the cultural life of Delhi and produce study material especially for women's education. After Nazir Ahmad, who belongs to Delhi, four important novelists from Lucknow came in the front: Ratannath Sarshar, Abdul Halim Sharar, Sajjad Hussain, and Mirza Hadi Ruswa. Sarshar wrote many novels such as Kamini, Kudumdhum, Bichhdi Dulhan, Saire Kohsar, etc. But his real fame is due to Fasane-e-Azad, which is spread over 4,000 pages. It covers with considerable regard, realism, and an exquisite sense of details in the life in the post-rebellion Lucknow. Sharar wrote above 100 books, but his fame is basically for novels. Some of them are Firdaus-e-Bari, Zawal-e Baghdad, Ain-e-Haram. He was highly interested in the history of Islam. These novels reflects the life in Islamic history and its contribution. His historical books are also very important, especially Guzishta Lucknow, which is one of the most important books on the cultural life of Lucknow. Mirza Hadi Ruswa was the name of a famous person for many reasons: as a translator, as a poet, as an engineer, as a chemist, inventor of Urdu shorthand, Islamic scholars, philosopher, mathematician, etc. But now he is remembered basically for his masterpiece novel Umrao Jan Nada, which he wrote in 1899. In these more than 100 years, its importance never faded. Now it has been translated into many Indian and foreign languages, and many films also has been made on this novel. Theatre. Though credit for starting theatre in Urdu goes to Wajid Ali Shah Akhtar and Amanat Lucknowi's Indra Sabha, which got unusual popularity, but later Parsi theatre became most important theatre of India. Parsi theatre was started by the Parsi community. Due to that, this theatre is known as Parsi theatre. In Urdu, Parsi theatre was started at around 1870. At that time, Urdu was the most widely spoken language of India. It was understood in almost every part of India. So when a play was started, its shows were performed almost every part of India. Parsi theatre absorbed many folk traditions of India. At the same time, many impacts of Western theatre are also seen. Many Western and Persian stories were adapted in the Indian circumstances. In Parsi theatre, most of the companies were travelling companies which used to perform a single play in large part of India. This theatre was very popular. Songs, dance, music, couplets, and heart-capturing dialogues of Urdu played the major role in the popularity of Parsi theatre. Mahmud Mia Raunak, Binayak Prasad Talib, Mehdi Hasan, Ehsan are some of the important playwrights of Parsi theatre. But Agha Hashr Kashmiri excelled in Parsi theatre. Some of the important plays of Hashr are Yahudi Ki Ladki, Silver King, Sohrab Rustam, Turki Hoor, Khoobsurat Bala, Sita Banwas, Bhism Pratigya, etc. Documentation of Dastan Amir Hamza. At the same time, when the novels of New Era were being written in Lucknow, Pandit Nawal Kishore, the most important publisher of Urdu, was busy in preserving the great tradition of Dastan. As earlier described, Dastan is basically an oral tradition of storytelling. After 1857, Dastan was towards great decline. Nawal Kishore smelled that this form of storytelling is vanishing day by day. In this situation, he invited the remaining Dastango and asked to dictate so that this great tradition can be documented in written form. When this Dastan was completed, it was spread in 46 volumes and almost 45,000 pages. Till today, many fiction writers, including Premchand, gives credit to this Dastan for his affection towards fiction writing. Traditional poetry. The traditional poetry of Ghazal continued even after losing the first war of independence in 1857. Though many new genres and innovations came in Urdu literature, but popularity of Ghazal never faded. After 1857, Dagh Dehelvi and Amir Minai was most important mentor of thousands of new poets. Especially Dagh Dehelvi was so much popular all over the India. He alone has almost 5,000 disciples. His couplet shows the popularity of Urdu and Ghazal as well. उर्दू है जिसका नाम हम ही जानते हैं दाग, हिंदुस्तान में धूम हमारी ज़ुबां की है. Only I know the importance of Urdu language. There is a celebration of our language in whole India. Some of the most important poets of Ghazal from 1857 to 1936 are as following: Dagh Dehelvi, Amir Minai, Shad Azim Abadi, Hasrat Muhani, Allama Iqbal, Seema Akbarabadi, Fani Badayuni, Jigar Muradabadi, Yagana Changezi, Firaq Gorakhpuri, Jafar Ali Asar Lakhnavi. Every above mentioned poet has a different identity and their contribution is unforgettable. But due to lack of space here, I am not able to give the details of those poets. Partition of a language. It's very unfortunate that at the last quarter of 19th century, this mosaic of language partitioned into two languages, Urdu and Hindi. Though the Britishers, with the theory of divide and rule, put the seeds of partition of this language into the soul in Fort William College, but that time it could not materialized. There were many reasons of this partition. Here I don't want to go in any controversy. I just want to tell the basic features of this partition. A language with majority of Sanskrit origin words in Devanagari script became Hindi, and the language with majority of Persian, Arabic and Turkish words in Indo-Persian script became Urdu. Despite of this partition, grammar and indigenous words remained common in both languages. This is the reason many times it becomes tough to identify whether someone is speaking in Urdu or Hindi. Such spoken language still exists, which is called Hindustani, which is a mixture of Urdu and Hindi, while speaking the script of language does not matter. 20th century. At the dawn of the 20th century, there were many movements, political, social, linguistic, educational, etc. At this juncture of history, many Indian students were studying in Britain. They got the European experiences and learned national sovereignty, self-respect, etc. When they came back to India, they tried to improve Indian situations. Later it turned into freedom movement of India. Freedom movement and Urdu. Urdu poets played a leading role in promotion of freedom movement. Urdu poets agitated on every inhuman step of British colonial power. The history goes long back in 1757 when East India Company defeated to Sirajud-Dowla, the king of Mysore. Urdu poet Ram Narayan Mauzu wrote a couplet in his memory. ग़ज़ालां तुम तो वाकिफ़ हो, कहो मजनू के मरने की, दीवाना मर गया आखिर को वीराने पे क्या गुजरी. The ghazals, you are in the know, do tell us about the death of Majnun. The frenzied lover passed away, but what happened to the wilderness? Mushafi wrote a couplet in clear words against British exploitation before 1795. हिंदुस्तान की दौलत व हशमत जो कुछ भी थी, काफिर फिरंगियों ने बतदबीर खींच ली. The tyrant Britishers sucked away with cunning all the wealth and grandeur that was India. In the first war of independence, many Urdu writers wrote in support of freedom fighters. Many Urdu writers paid a heavy price for that. Maulvi Muhammad Baqir was the editor of Delhi Urdu Akhbar, but after the success of Indian revolutionaries in Delhi, he named his paper as Akhbar-e-Zafar. Muhammad Baqir was executed for his paper's role in freedom struggle. Poet Imam Bakhsh Sahbai was also executed. Fazle-Haq Khairabadi and Munir Shikohabadi were exiled for Andaman. All the Urdu papers were seized. Mirza Ghalib was also questioned, though till that time his Qita about 1857 could not came in the light. If that Qita could have come in the knowledge of Britishers, Ghalib's story could have been different. Though there is a continuous history of Urdu poets and writers expressing their views on anti-human and barbaric rule of Britain. But this trend intensified with the dawn of the 20th century. In the 20th century, thousands of Urdu writers, including poets, fiction writers, journalists, expressed views through their writing and also practically participated in freedom movement. Some of the eminent Urdu writers which occur in front line of freedom struggle are Brij Narayan Chakbast, Hasrat Mohani, Zafar Ali Khan, Muhammad Ali Jauhar, and his brother Shaukat Ali, Allama Iqbal, Durga Sahai Surur Jahanabadi, Tilok Chand Mehroom, and his son Jagannath Azad. Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah Khan, Lalita Prasad Akhtar, Akhtar Shirani, Firaq Gorakhpuri, Josh Malihabadi, Jamil Mazahri, Anand Narayan Mulla, Faiz Ahmad Faiz, Majaz Sahil Ludhianvi, Ali Sardar Jafri, etc. All just a few poets. Otherwise, this list will go to more than thousands names. Here I would like to present a couplet of Akbar Allahabadi. The couplet is as following. बुद्धू मियाँ भी हज़रत गांधी के साथ हैं, गो खा के रहे हैं मगर आंधी के साथ हैं. बुद्धू मियाँ भी हज़रत गांधी के साथ हैं, गो खा के राह हैं मगर आंधी के साथ हैं. Mr. Buddhu is also with the Honorable Gandhi, though he is a dust of path, but he is with his storm. Brij Narayan Chakbast wrote a couplet announcing, तलब फजूल है कांटों की फूल के बदले, न लें बहिश्त भी हम होम रूल के बदले. It is useless asking for thorns instead of flowers. We shall not exchange home rule even for heaven. Faiz goes to new extent when he says, मुझसे पहली सी मोहब्बत मेरे महबूब न मांग. Don't ask me for the earlier love, darling. He also writes, चंद रोज़ और मेरी जान, फ़कत चंद ही रोज़, जुल्म की छाँव में दम लेने पे मजबूर हैं हम. चंद रोज़ और सितम सह लें, तड़प लें, रो लें, अपने अजदाद की मीरास है, मजबूर हैं हम. For a few days more, my love, just a few days, we are forced to rest a while under the shadow of tyranny. Yes, we may bear the hardship a little longer. It is an inheritance from our forefathers. We are helpless. Similarly, there are lots of names of journalists and fiction writers whose writing played an important role in freedom movement. A slogan, Inqilab Zindabad, long live the revolution, was given by Hasrat Mohani. This slogan played the most important role in freedom movement. Hasrat Mohani was the first person who forwarded the resolution of Mukammal Azadi, means complete freedom, in a Congress meeting in 1921. Though that time Congress itself rejected this resolution, but it came with the same slogan in 1942. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was exiled from Kolkata for his writing in Urdu newspapers Al-Hilal and Al-Bilagh, which he himself edited at a very young age. Maulana Barkatullah Bhopali and Sayyid Hassan, when he was banned publishing Urdu newspaper from, he started newspapers from America, Germany and Turkey to voice for national interest. Lala Lajpat Rai, Hasrat Mohani, Maulana Muhammad Ali Jauhar, Munshi Sajjad Hussain, Qazi Abdul Ghaffar, Gopinatham, Charagh Hassan, Hasrat and Lal Chand Falak are some of the important Urdu journalists who played important role in freedom movement. Many of these were punished, press and securities were seized, publications were stopped, and many journalists were exiled or fined. Premchand's British district officer burned his first collection of Urdu short stories, Soz-e-Watan. The stories of Urdu writers' sacrifices for freedom movement are endless. They took big risks, including putting the life on risk, but they never kept silence. Here is a list of few Urdu poetry books which are related to our freedom struggle. Zabt Shuda Nazme, proscribed poems, published by National Archive. Zabt Shuda Adbiyat, proscribed literature, available in National Archive. Naghmat-e Hurriyat, Songs of Freedom, compiled by Khali Kanjum and revised by Shamsur Rahman Farooqi. Urdu में कौमी शायरी के 100 साल, 100 years of national poetry in Urdu, compiled by Ali Jawad Zaidi. Nawai Azadi, compiled by Abdul Razzaq Quraishi. Azadi ki Nazmein, compiled by Sibte Hassan. Emergence of Allama Iqbal and Premchand. At the start of the 20th century, Urdu literature got two great writers, one in poetry and one in fiction. In poetry, it was Allama Dr. Muhammad Iqbal, and in fiction, it was Premchand. Dr. Muhammad Iqbal, 1874 to 1938. Iqbal is one of the greatest poets in Urdu. His vision and thoughts are exceptionally wide. First, he was interested in mysticism and Persian great poetry, especially Maulana Rumi. Then his interest developed in nationalism and freedom movement. He was highly interested in philosophy. In 1905, he went to London for higher studies. From there, he went to Germany to pursue his PhD on the topic of the development of metaphysics in Persia. During his stay in West, he has interaction with MacTaggart, Henry Bergson, and Bertrand Russell. While in Germany, he studied almost all the important philosophers of West. Some of these are Kant, Hegel, Schopenhauer, Goethe, Hölderlin, and Nietzsche, etc. During his stay in Europe, he lost his interest in nationalism because there he had found that nations are being destroyed by each other on the name of nationalism. He reached to the conclusion the nationalism is the root of all the evils of modern world. He found a way of survival in pan-Islamic and later in humanism, including socialism. There are lots of streams which met together in Iqbal's poetry. To discuss all these elements needs volumes of books. Almost 1000 books has been written on the philosophy and poetry of Iqbal in different languages, including Urdu, English, Persian, Hindi, etc. He was forced to involve in many controversies, but importance of Iqbal's poetry never faded. He has only 4 collections of poetry named Bange Dara, Bale Jibrail, Zarbe Kalim, and Armagane Hijaz. But in these 4 collections of poetry, he discussed almost all important issues of this world. Although there are lots of philosophy and thinking, but his creative urge is remain very innovative. He expressed his views in a style which is very new and expressive. Here we present a few couplets of Iqbal. सारे जहाँ से अच्छा हिंदोस्तां हमारा, हम बुलबुलें हैं इसकी ये गुलसितां हमारा. Our India is more beautiful than the entire world. We are its nightingales and it is our garden in bloom. खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे बता तेरी रज़ा क्या है. Raise thy ego so high that before God wills thy fate, he asked his obedient servant himself what his destiny should be. जिस खेत से दहकां को मयस्सर न हो रोटी, उस खेत के हर खोशे गंदुम को जला दो. The field that cannot give a loaf of bread to the farmer must be destroyed by burning each corn of wheat it has yielded. Premchand, 1880 to 1936. Premchand is first outstanding short story writer of Urdu and Hindi. He was born in lower middle class in a village called Lamhi, Pandepur in Banaras. His original name was Dhanpat Rai. He struggled a lot for his studies. After entrance exam, he joined as a teacher. Gradually, he was promoted up to deputy inspector of his school. After that, he wrote stories with different names. Finally, he accepted his name as Premchand. For further writings, Premchand started his career of writing with Urdu and remained Urdu writer all over the life. But after around 1920, he wrote first draft mostly in Hindi. Though his masterpiece short story Kafan was written in Urdu first, which he wrote during his stay at Jamia Millia Islamia in Delhi. There are many phases of Premchand's writings. After elementary patriotic writings, he was influenced by the revivalism. He highlighted the Rajput chivalry and expressed feudal values. In next phase, the Gandhian idealism influenced Premchand, and finally he found a way of life in Marxism and realism. But Premchand was always a writer of country life. The sufferings of laborers and farmers, what he narrated is unparalleled. No writer could reach to this height. Some important novels of Premchand are Gaudan, Maidan-e-Amal, Nirmala, Gosha-e-Afiyat, Ghaban, Bazar-e-Husn, etc. Premchand's some most important short stories are Kafan, Poos ki Raat, Nai Biwi, Eidgah, Hajj-e-Akbari, बूढ़ी काकी, दो बहनें, नमक का दरोगा, निजात, दूध की कीमत एंड पंचायत. सज्जाद हैदर यल्दरम, पंडित बद्रीनाथ सुदर्शन, आजम कुरेवी and Ali Abbas Hussaini are some other important contemporaries of Premchand. They all has his own way of writing and played important role in the development of Urdu fiction. Many of these were influenced by Premchand, but none of these could get the fame or depth of Premchand. Usmania University. Usmania University was founded in 1800 by the 7th Nizam of Hyderabad state, Nawab Mir Usman Ali Khan. It is one of the oldest modern universities in India. From its start, Urdu was the medium of instruction. Urdu is the first Indian language which became medium of instruction in any university of India. Here a Darul Tarjuma, Center of Translation, was also established to translate the books to provide study material in Urdu medium. For this purpose, scholars from all over the India were invited. They translated hundreds of books and fulfilled the requirements of the university. Courses such as engineering, medical, research were taught through Urdu medium. This experiment continued till Indian freedom. After independence, Urdu as a medium of instruction was revoked. There are lots of alumnus who were taught in Urdu medium in this university. They served on very prestigious posts including Prime Minister of India and Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao was the student of this university in Urdu medium instructions. Jamia Millia Islamia, a group of Aligarh Muslim University separated with the inspiration of Mahatma Gandhi's non-cooperation movement and established Jamia Millia Islamia. Because AMU was pro-British and Jamia was nationalist group, Ali brothers, Dr. Zakir Hussain, Hakim Ajmal Khan and M.A. Ansari were main founder of Jamia. Though Aligarh and Jamia both adopted basically English medium of instructions, but Urdu also supported in their teachings. From both universities, many students played a major role in freedom struggle and later in development of India. Spread of Urdu beyond the school or center. Earlier, most of the Urdu writers were either born and brought up at some center of Urdu, or they migrated at very early age to some center. But at the start of the 20th century, this concept could not survive, and now Urdu writers could remain at their own place, but can be recognized as poet, fiction writer, or any other form of prose. Now poets and prose writers were coming from every part of the country, and it was not necessary to visit any center of Urdu such as Delhi, Lucknow, Hyderabad, Rampur, Azimabad, Murshidabad, etc. Literary magazines played a good role in this trend. This language was language of masses even earlier, but now writers were also found at any part of India. Urdu produced thousands of writers and journalists. Radio and Urdu. Though first radio broadcasting in India was occurred in 1921, but it was an experimental broadcasting. It took almost 15 years to reach masses. All India Radio was established in 1936. Urdu played an instrumental role in this popularity. Some eminent Urdu writers such as Pitras Bukhari, Saadat Hasan Manto, Majaz, Rajendra Singh Bedi, Krish Chandar were associated to radio in its early stage. Films and Urdu. Though silent film started in India in 1913, but silent films could not get much recognition like talkies. First talkie film was made in 1931. This was based on an Urdu play Ala Mara written by Joseph David. It is said that the cost of this film was 40,000, but this film earned rupees 20 lakh. People waited outside the cinema hall for many days to get the chance to see the film. Looking such popularity, many artists including Urdu writers were attracted from this new medium of expression. The second film was Shiri Farhad, which again was based on Urdu writer Agha Hashr Kashmiri's script. Both films' songs were also in Urdu and got unparalleled success. Prem Chand also joined as a film writer in 1934. Here he wrote two films. A film Bazar-e Husn based on Prem Chand's novel was produced during the life of Prem Chand, but Prem Chand could not compromise the kinds of writings producers were demanding, and he came back. The great success of two films, the future of Indian films was set, and it was very clear that films cannot get the success without using Urdu. In this trend, Urdu Parsi theatre played very important role. The kind of Urdu language and performances which was set by the Parsi theatre, Indian films also adopted the same. In this context, Urdu language became unavoidable necessity of Indian films to reach larger population. Angare. A collection of 10 short stories with the name of Angare was published in 1932. In this collection, 5 stories were written by Sajjad Zahir. Rest of stories were written by Rashid Jahan, Mahmud Zafar and Ahmad Ali. As per the name of Angare, which means burning, these stories were on the socio-political burning issues. The approach of storytelling was direct and impressive. Finally, Angare was proscribed, but these stories set the trend of future Urdu short stories. Progressive Writers Association. Progressive Writers movement is the biggest movement of Urdu literature. It not only set a totally new trend in Urdu literature but also influenced almost all Indian languages literature. This movement of literature was created due to Indian and international situations. Many elements of progressive thinking were already in Prem Chand and Iqbal's literary work. A successful revolution of Soviet Union inspired writers all over the world, and Marxism became the most attractive and promising idea for the people of the whole world. It was dealing with socio-political, economic, even arts forms. In Urdu, it was Hasrat Mohani and Maulana Barkatullah Bhopali who raised the Marxism voice in their journalism as well as politics. In 1933, Hitler's Nazi party came in power and he started oppression against writers, painters, scientists, etc. The few of them who were exiled are Thomas Mann, Ernest Tuller, Huber, and Einstein. There was ban on freedom of expression. Due to this situation, a World Congress of Writers and other artists was held in Paris in 1935. Hundreds of artists, writers participated in this Congress. Some eminent writers who participated in this Congress are Henry Bowles, Maxim Gorky, Roman Rolla, Thomas Mann, Andre Marlowe. Sajjad Zahir also participated in this Congress. After returning from Paris conference, Sajjad Zahir formed a group of progressive writers with the help of few other like-minded Indian students in London. This progressive group prepared a manifesto focusing on progressive nature of writers. Some of them are as following: writers' commitment towards working class, participation in freedom movement of the country, improvement in the life of working class, exposing the social reality of Indian society. In April 1936, first All India Conference was organized in Lucknow. In this conference, other than Urdu, many other Indian languages writers also turned up. Writers from Madras, Bengal, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Punjab and Sindh, Bihar and UP also participated. Some eminent writers participated in the first All India Conference of PWA. Are Premchand presided over. Chaudhry Muhammad Ali Rudolvi welcome speech. Hasrat Mohani, Mahmudul Zafar, Dr. Rashid Jahan, Faiz Ahmad Faiz, Firaq Gorakhpuri, Jainendra Kumar, Hajra Begum, Dr. Abdul Alim, Sagar Nizami, Jai Prakash Narayan, Yusuf Meher Ali, Indulal Yani, Kamla Devi, Mia Iftikhar Uddin. Sarojini Naidu could not turn up due to last moment's illness, but sent a message which was read in conference. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Iqbal and Rabindranath Tagore sent messages in favor of PWA. A new improvised manifesto was prepared and presented in this conference. Premchand's presiding speech was excellent, which became the guideline for PWA in future. Important Urdu poets of PWA are Faiz Ahmad Faiz, Makhdoom Mohiuddin, Ali Sardar Jafri, Asrarul Haq Majaz, Janisar Akhtar, Kaifi Azmi, Sahir Ludhianvi, Majruh Sultanpuri, Moin Ehsan Jazbi, Ahmad Nadeem Qasmi, Qatil Shifai, Munibur Rahman, Akhtarul Iman, Wamik Jaunpuri. Important Urdu fiction writers of PWA are Krishchandar, Saadat Hasan Manto, Rajendra Singh Bedi, Ismat Chughtai, Aziz Ahmad, Khwaja Ahmad Abbas, Ramanand Sagar, Upen Nath Ashk and Ahmad Nadeem Qasmi. Important Urdu drama writer of PWA are Habib Tanveer, Saadat Hasan Manto, Rajendra Singh Bedi, Khwaja Ahmad Abbas, Upen Nath Ashk, Revati Saran Sharma, Muhammad Hassan and Sayyid Mehdi. Important Urdu ideologue and critic of PWA are Sajjad Zahir, Majnu Gorakhpuri, Akhtar Hussain Raipuri, Ali Sardar Jafri, Al Ahmad Surur, Ehtisham Hussain, Dr. Abdul Alim, Mumtaz Hussain, Muhammad Hussain. Achievement of PWA. For the first time, focus of literature turned towards the working class. Participation of writers in freedom struggle through black and blood. Writers were directly intervened to control communal violence at the time of partition and other sensitive times. Folk literature and art forms of literature incorporated into the mainstream of literature. PWA writers dominated in cinematic writings, though this could reach through this they could reach larger population even to those who were not able to read and write. Indian People's Theatre Association IPTA was founded to convey the progressive ideas through theatre. It also helped writers to become film artists. A new form of play, Nukkad Natak, was also developed to intervene on contemporary happenings, popularizing literature in public. There is no example of such popularity of literature either before or after the PWA. 1947. On the 15th August of 1947, hundreds of millions dreams became a reality for which they were struggling since almost 200 years. As we know, on this date India got the freedom from British rule, but unfortunately India could not remain united. It was divided into two countries, India and Pakistan. There are lots of reasons and discussions that who was the responsible for this partition, but here it's not my topic. One more unfortunate occurred during the exchange of people from one country to another. Communal violence exploded on both sides. Lakhs of people killed, millions displaced. They lost not only their dear one, but also lost their history, culture and language. Now a language known as Hindustani divided for the third and final time. Earlier two attempts of dividing Hindustani language was not fully successful, but this time it was finally officially divided with no hope of being united again. Though I believe in people's heart and behavior, Hindustani language still exists. Urdu after partition. Urdu is a language which suffered highest in partition. The language, which was on driver's seat during the freedom movement, saw a big shock after independence. This language found strength himself on their own land where it was born and brought up. There were many prejudices against this language, and most of them were without any fact. Position of Urdu in democratic India. India got the freedom and developed its own constitution, which was implemented on 26 January 1950. In the Constitution of India, its Schedule 8 discusses about the language. As per Constitution of India, India accepted 14 languages as its national languages, later which became 22. Urdu was one of the 14 languages, and now it is also included in 22 languages. Hindi got the status of official language of Government of India, but it promises all languages to provide due opportunities for their development. That could be in minority or majority. All languages have a right to evolution. Development of a language depends on following areas: mass communication, education and literature. Urdu in mass communication. Mass communication plays a big role in any democratic country. It is called fourth pillar of democracy. After independence, there were three major fields of mass communication: print media, radio, and films. Urdu's print media suffered a lot after independence due to transfer of many presses. People's dubious attitude towards the future of Urdu language itself, but at the end of the 20th century, it got confidence again, and now Urdu print media is developing very fast. Radio was fully state-owned media, though Urdu got some space in radio, but looking the range of Urdu speakers from Kashmir to Hyderabad and Mysore, it was not enough. But radio played a big role in surviving of Urdu, because the film songs, which were mostly written in Urdu in films even after independence, Urdu was the most popular language. TV became a popular media only in 80s, and later Urdu is getting much space in TV, but mostly with the name of Hindi. Education. After independence, Urdu hardly got his due space in educational system. The most important cause of Urdu's decline after independence is governments could not provide facility of teaching Urdu as a medium of instruction and as a subject also. The Constitution of India promised to provide elementary and basic education in their mother tongue. But in case of Urdu, this promise never fulfilled, especially in North Indian states. In the last few decades, Urdu has got his due space in few states such as Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kashmir, and partially in Bihar. But in North Indian states, Urdu is still waiting his constitutional space. It is more unfortunate that where Urdu was born and brought up, those states are not giving its constitutional right. Due to few central government's scheme in last 2 decades, such as National Council for Promotion of Urdu Language, Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Urdu Department of some universities, and NCRT, etc. Urdu is coming back in educational system also, but madrasa education has played most important role in Urdu education. Mostly their medium of instruction is Urdu. They also offer Urdu as a subject. Urdu literature after independence. After freedom and partition, Urdu writers, especially progressive writers, mostly concentrated on overcoming from communal violence, though they also continued for socialism. But after few years, at the start of 60s, the role of progressive writers declined and modernist writers came in limelight. In fact, these modernist writers were inspired from Halqa-e Arbab-e-Zawq, which was a parallel group of progressive writers during 40s. The emphasis of modernist was about values of arts, poetics, universality of literature, metaphors, symbols, and ambiguity, etc., were the medium of expression to these modernists. Poets such as Akhtarul Iman, Nasir Kazmi, Khalilur Rahman Azmi, Ahmad Mushtaq, Balraj Komal, Shahriyar, Nida Fazli, Mazhar Imam, Baqir Mehdi, Muhammad Alvi are the main literatures of this trend, while Qurtul and Haider, Intizar Hussain, Surendra Prakash, Balraj Mehra, Joginder Pal, and Mushtaq Ahmad Yusufi were the main prose writers. Shamsur Rahman Farooqi, Shamim Hanfi, and Gopi Chand are the main theorists and ideologues of this trend. Neo-modernist poet or postmodern literature. Contemporary creative writers and few theorists now emphasize that they should be identified as a postmodernist or neo-modernist writer. In fiction now prominent writers are Nayyar Masood, Khalid Javed, Sayyid Muhammad Ashraf and Siddiq Alam. Some prominent poets of contemporary Urdu literature are Farhat Ehsas, Salahuddin Parvez, Abdul Ahad Saaz, Sharik Kaifi and Ahmad Mahfuz. Urdu and popular culture. Urdu popular culture is not limited only among those whose mother tongue is Urdu, but also among them whose mother tongue is not Urdu. Some important components of Urdu's popular culture are as following: ghazal and qawwali singing, mushaira, antakshari. Folk traditions. There are many categories of folk traditions in Urdu. Some of them are as following: Amir Khusro, Nazir Akbarabadi, songs related to freedom movement, Chahar Bait, celebrations song, weather related songs, music based songs. As we know, mostly folk traditions run through oral tradition. Their writers or creators' name are not known, they are not well written, and they always used to improvise in original text. Urdu has a wide range of songs which fulfill these. All are mostly conditions of folk traditions. There are many songs which sung by many categories of singers. They are supposed to be written by Amir Khusro or Nazir Akbarabadi or some other poet, but they does not belong to them, at least at present form. Maybe in an improvised form of Amir Khusro, Nazir Akbarabadi or any other poet's work. Chahar Bait is purely folk tradition of Urdu. This is a Pathan's folk literature and is found only in those cities or towns where these Pathan lives traditionally. This tradition came basically from Afghanistan, but now it has been highly Indianized. Chahar Bait is very lively tradition. Their culture in this folk literature and singing is clearly visible. In Urdu, there are folk songs for every occasion and celebration of life. These songs are not only in village but also highly educated families and cities like Lucknow and Delhi. Songs of marriage, songs of birth of child, songs of Sawan, and also there are many songs which are sung with music, but they are not known who has written those. Urdu and Hindustani cinema. There are huge impacts of Urdu language and literature on Indian cinema, especially Bollywood cinema. In fact, without Urdu, this cinema can't be conceived, and the most of the unique features of Indian cinema are due to Urdu literature and Parsi Urdu theatre. As earlier it has been said, from the first talkies of Indian films, Urdu established as such relation which never can be removed. But at the late 40s, 50s and 60s, which is generally known as the golden period of Indian cinema, Urdu writers played key role in these films. The main reason behind the success of these films was very attractive, impressive Urdu dialogues, stories and lyrics. During this time, almost behind the every important director and producer, there was a Urdu writer who was writing the stories, dialogues and screenplays of the films. With Raj Kapoor, there was Khaja Ahmad Abbas, who used to write films of Raj Kapoor. Almost every film of Guru Dutt was written by Wajahat Mirza or Abrar Alvi. B.R. Chopra and Yash Chopra's films were written by Akhtarul Imal. Bimal Roy's films were written by Saadat Hasan Manto and Rajendra Singh Bedi. Mehboob Khan's films were written by Wajahat Mirza, etc. Kamal Amrohi wrote his own films as well. K. Asif's film Mughal-e-Azam. Therefore, almost all good films of that period were written by any Urdu writer. Other than these Urdu fiction writers' contribution in films, many dozen films were adapted from Urdu fictions. Films such as Mughal-e-Azam, Anarkali, Yahudi Ki Ladki, Rustam, Sohrab, Dastak were based on Urdu theatre. Films such as Laila Majnu, Hatim Tai, Heer Ranjha, Char Bait were based on Urdu Dastan. Films like Tawaif Ek Chadar Maili Si, Umrao Jaan, Ghaban and Ziddi are based on Urdu novel. Similarly, films like Well Done Abba, Mandi, Satranj Ke Khiladi, Sadgati, Guddi and Achanak are based on Urdu short stories. There is a big list of such films. Here we are giving the name of just few. Similarly, songs also played very important role in the success of that period's films. Sahil Ludhianvi, Shakil Badayuni, Majrooh Sultanpuri, Shailendra Kaifi Azmi, Hasrat Jaipuri, Kamal Jalalabadi, Rajendra Krishna, Gulzar were the most important film lyrics of that time, and these all were Urdu poets. Other than current lyrics, dozens of Urdu classical poets' poetry was also taken as lyrics. Similarly, many contemporary poets' poetry was also taken in the films. Urdu literature and cinema, songs like पत्ता पत्ता बूटा बूटा हाल हमारा जाने है, देख लो आज हमको जी भर के, वो जो हम में तुम में करार थी, तुम्हें याद हो कि न याद हो, दिल ढूंढता है फिर वही फुर्सत के रात दिन. These all lyrics were taken from classical poetry. Such list goes to many dozens. If lyrics name is Shailendra, Rajendra Krishna or Anand Bakshi, it never means that they doesn't belong to Urdu poetry. Rajendra Krishna, before joining the film industry, used to write ghazals with the name of Dard Shimlavi. Gulzar, whose real name is Sampurn Singh, is also a good poet and fiction writer in Urdu literature. Almost same stories with every lyric. They used to write poetry in Urdu. See the lyrics of the films, they are totally based on Urdu vocabulary and following the traditions of Urdu poetry. Impacts of Urdu on Indian culture. Before the close this lecture, we will look back towards the 19th century. After 1857, it was Urdu language and literature which was turned towards the scientific, realistic and educational knowledge-based language. And this was leading language of India and in imparting education through Urdu medium. It was the first Indian language which became medium of higher instructions, including for medical, engineering and law education. Urdu again was pioneer Indian language in freedom movement. Its writers struggled with black and blood during freedom struggle. Its slogans, its poetry, its journalistic writings inspired to millions of people to fight against British rule. Many Urdu writers were punished, fined, exiled and proscribed. Despite of these sufferings, they continued their writings. After and before the independence, Urdu was the main language of films, and films influenced the whole culture of India. It was not only Urdu language and literature, but also Urdu cultures, art, craft, architecture, fashion, music was influencing the most part of India and abroad also. Similarly, Urdu has a very significant folk literature and plays very important role in popular culture also. In this series, we can say that Urdu is like a backbone in Indian culture, which is spread from Kashmir to Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. Thank you.